our channel. We're a little tired. It's Halloween season, so we're a little, well, we're exhausted.
Yeah.
That's okay. Hopefully it'll look all right. So today we're really excited. We're going to meet our friend Greg. And I always say this when I talk about him. He is amazing what he does. He goes and clears out all of these historical cemeteries. And you know, these people, it's important to them. You would think it wasn't, but whenever I go to historical cemeteries, I always get spirit activity because they're happy somebody's finally there.
Of course. And he's clearing their graves, these long forgotten graves, you know.
So this one is, I'm not really looking forward to going to this spot. When we did our Jeffrey Nailhot episode, it's right across from his house. And this is a bad vibe over there. It's just really...
we interviewed Greg in the first
Yes.
episode, and he was telling us he believes there were still graves across the street. And sure enough, guys.
Yeah. And they actually, they brought in an excavation team. They excavated it, and they found the graves that he always said were there.
Yeah, he was persistent with it, and they followed up. And
Yeah.
so we'll get to hear really what happened more when we talk to him.
Yeah. It was like a Baptist cemetery, I think, or something like that. But he'll have the whole story. He knows everyone that was buried there. And like I said, it is a creepy area. We'll show you that house again. Jeffrey, if you haven't watched that episode, guys, go back and watch it.
And
Jeffrey
because it's
Nailhot.
across the street from Jeffrey Nailhot, who knows who else may be buried there.
Exactly. We don't know. And we're going to do a little spirit box just to find out. But that area I went to years ago, and the house was empty. And I sat on the porch, and I saw a shadow figure go by the side of the house. And I did catch an EVP. I said, "What's up with you, little shadow guy?" And he's like, "Get out of here." Like, it was weird. This weird little voice, like it wasn't a human voice. So that whole area, it just always is just creepy. So we are going to put on our oil of little rose today, our blessed oil. I'm going to go get my medal from her as well. Just so we'll do some extra weight light protection before we go. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so
You ready?
let's do this.
Let's do this. All right, so we're here with Greg, who was nice enough to come out and meet us today, this amazing man, and he's going to tell us about this spot and what you guys discovered.
So I'm a volunteer with the Blackstone Valley Historical Society. We try to preserve historical cemeteries and try to save them from development. And here we presume that there would be burials remaining from the 1800s, one of the earliest villages of Woonsocket. And sure enough, we uncovered 3 burial chambers and two children and an adult. They were going to build a house on this property, and now the building is going to be pushed over, and the cemetery is going to be saved. They're going to stay here, and they're going to be honored and respected finally.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
That is so amazing. And you said these were the pillars, right?
Yeah, these were the pillars. The pillars right here. The pillars would have marked the boundaries of the cemetery.
Yep.
They would have been the burial plot or the cemetery enclosure.
Yep.
They would have marked the boundaries of where the cemetery stretched from.
Right.
And right now they're temporary burial markers, and we plan to do a fundraiser with the Blackstone Valley Historical Society to raise funds in order to get them a permanent gravestone, so that they'll finally be acknowledged and respected.
That's so great.
Yeah.
So this was part of, was it a Baptist cemetery?
This was the Baptist cemetery. It was founded in 1832.
Yeah.
The church down the street, and it burned down in the 1850s. And after that, it started going into neglect. The funds stopped going to the cemetery, and it basically became what you see today. Yeah, some of the first village settlers were living here. There's about 220 individuals that lived in this village. The first village of Woonsocket, and that's early 1800s, and this is what remains.
So where did all the other
All the other remains in the 1870s, they were relocated. There's 3 cemeteries that we know of that they were relocated to. One in North Smithfield, another one in Pawtucket.
Okay.
The total list of names we have were 15. We've only located 4 of those names off that burial list. So there was 11 others still presumed buried here. During the archaeological dig 2 weeks ago, we only uncovered these 3, but we presume that there could be some underneath the slab, there could be down further stretch.
Under this house
Underneath the
here?
house. I don't know if you guys seen the Route 37. Route 37 in Cranston, there was over 1,000 burials located underneath the highway. So underneath that highway, development has claimed most of these, and that happened in the 1950s.
That is so sad.
The law was only established in the 1970s. 1976, Rhode Island passed laws to protect historic cemeteries. Before that, you could build anywhere you wanted. Didn't matter if you found remains or not. They would be pulled up, depending if whoever was building, they would relocate them and put them in either a mass grave, or they would put them in a box and forget about them. So that could have happened to them, but thankfully we're here today and they're not.
So there were 2 children.
2 children right here and an adult further down.
And you said they were only a couple feet under.
Only a couple feet, yeah. They would have had just a chamber that they would have been placed over, and then they would have inserted, and then they would have had a granite piece that slapped over the top of the chamber, and that's all that would have been exposed. So their graves, you could have seen their graves in the 1800s, but they had no gravestone, no name, no nothing. It was just that's how they were remembered, and most of the time it was family. So if they were parishioners of a church, then the people that attended the church would know exactly who these people were, where they're buried, and that's word of mouth was passed. Oh, this is baby so and so, or this is child so and so of this family, and that's you know, whoever it is, Uncle Tom, or whatever it may have been. So.
This is right across the street, guys, from Jeffrey Mailhouse's
Yeah,
house.
we had a view of that scene right
You remember
there.
we did him.
Yep. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
remember you saying that, too.
Yep.
like,
And Jeff
over
had
a year
connections.
ago.
Jeff Mount, he had connections to 2 of the cemeteries. He lived across the street from this cemetery, and he used to hang out at Vernon Cemetery, across the city of Woonsocket, at a party house that he used to go to. He used to hang out at the cemetery using gravestones as sleds during the wintertime. Unbelievable.
Wow. It's a
So.
crazy story.
Yep, there certainly is.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
I appreciate it. I think we're going to do a little bit of spirit box if you want to join us,
Yeah.
just to see if anybody comes through and gives us any names, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Just doing a little spirit box here, guys. Is there anyone from around here that would like to come through and speak with us? Is there anyone who knows the name of these children? We would love to know their names.
So they just uncovered some graves here. Can anybody tell us who might be buried here? Are you happy your graves were discovered?
This is a little tricky to come through on, but give it a shot. But we would love to know these children's names. Or the adults' names that they found. That would be amazing. Whose house was that over there, trimmed in green? Do you know? Quiet. I have not heard a peep.
Very quiet on the spirit room.
Yeah. I'll give you guys a few more minutes. If anyone wants to come through.
There was a man named Joseph Snow. He was a 37-year-old man. He died on a railroad track. He fell off the train while it was moving close by, and he died. He's buried here. He still remains here. He's not accounted for on the list of names. Is Joseph Snow here with us today?
You can talk to us. We're not here to harm you. We just want to chat.
I'll give you the opportunity to thank Greg for discovering your graves.
It's an amazing thing that he does. really is.
Very quiet, guys. I thought I heard something faint a minute ago,
Yeah,
but
very faint.
oh, you heard that too?
Yeah.
Very, very faint. We'll never figure that out.
Like off in the distance.
Well, apparently they don't want to speak.
Yeah, we're gonna give you guys a couple more minutes, okay? I'm gonna turn this off. Alright, I'm gonna leave the voice recorder going.
So we are back, finished. We got a nice hot roaring fire after we've been out in the rain for all that time.
Feels good.
Nice hot coffee as well. But that was an amazing spot.
Yeah.
It really was.
I mean, it's so sad what almost happened there, huh?
Yeah.
According to Greg, they almost built right on top of these people's graves. It's like, what is it? What town was that in?
Woonsocket.
Woonsocket
Yeah.
told the company they could just go ahead and build.
Yeah, they said to the people, they said, oh, there's no graves under there, go ahead. So they had to go to build.
Yeah, but fortunately this company was so good about it that they had heard about Greg through an article and they asked him to research the property. And with the evidence he came up with, they actually dug deeper,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
and found the graves. Amazing.
Yep, thank God, you know, and 2 little children and 1 adult they found. I'm gonna post some pictures for you guys, because the way he described it, they were inside almost like a little crypt, and you could look right in.
Oh gosh, he showed us a couple
So,
pictures. You can
yeah.
actually see what was left of like soles
little-
of shoes.
The feet, I'm not gonna
Oh,
post
yeah.
that.
No,
I'm not gonna put that up for you
We're not
guys.
gonna show it to you guys, but oh.
Just to give you an idea, like we'll show the pictures from a distance so you can actually see.
Yeah, we do have some photos we're gonna put
Yeah,
up.
so, I mean, that was just all in all amazing. We did not get really much on the spirit box. We did get one name that sounded like a little girl that started with a C. So we're gonna ask Greg to check back over the list to see
Yeah.
if there's a little girl with a C name.
Possibly Camille Wilson.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. But this EVP, oh my God, guys. Sue and we were just listening back and we're like, we had goosebumps. So Greg was talking about one area where there was all rubble from when they had taken down one of the buildings. He's like, no, there's nothing under there. And the guy, we clearly can hear this guy go, dig deep, dig deep. It was just so cool. Like we were like totally amazed.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play that for you guys.
Way off of the burial.
Oh my goodness.
Do you think there's anything under that rubble?
Nothing under the rubble, no. Once we nothing under the rubble, no. Nothing under the rubble, no. Once we found these, we located these.
Yeah, I mean, to us it sure sounds like dig deep.
Yeah, I really hope you guys could hear that, because we heard it without the headphones. We just going through it. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was there.
And it goes with nothing under the rubble. Dig deep.
Exactly. So that was Class A EVP right there, and you know, it was totally related to what we were saying, like and it was funny because I wasn't getting not any activity on the spirit box, a few little things, and I said, you know what, I had a funny feeling. I said, I'm just gonna keep the voice recorder going, and then they may come through, and sure enough,
Two voices.
yeah. So if we get anything else, you know, maybe we'll do a part 2.
Yeah, I mean, if they excavate anything else, guys, we'll definitely keep you filled in.
Yeah, and if we get any names or anything like that, so,
You know, what would, sorry,
Go
Craig, I just think it's kind of important that, there's nowhere for these bodies to go, like Greg was saying.
That was the other thing, yeah.
And unfortunately, he tried to reach out to different churches in the area, the Baptist church, no response.
No one.
So if anybody out there knows if they can, you know, inter these bodies anywhere, you know, please contact us. We'll let Greg know.
So they're actually gonna leave the bodies there, and Greg is trying to raise money for the headstones, and he's gonna fix it all up, and the people who purchased the property have pretty much given up that space. They said,
Yeah.
we can't find a place to put them, no one wants them, why don't we leave them here? They're like, we'll leave that piece of property alone,
Yeah.
and so that was so kind of them. Thank God for,
Absolutely.
there's still kind people in this world, you
So
know?
guys, if you can't come up with a place the bodies can be brought to, maybe you can help Greg out with the building a little memorial for him
Yeah.
here and keeping it as a historic cemetery.
Because he's looking for donations, he's gonna put a beautiful little fence up, and it's
Mhm.
gonna be really nice when he's finished, so, yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, any inquiries, guys, leave a comment and we'll get it straight to Greg.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And thanks for joining as usual.
Yes, and tomorrow's Halloween, so I gotta get this episode out to you guys,
Oh,
so
yeah.
happy
Happy
Halloween. So, you know, we really appreciate all you guys, we love you guys, and be sure to share the love.